Hi guys, and welcome back to Aid's Workshop. I've been AWOL. Regular viewers will know I've disappeared for the last 3 weeks. I'm back now, happy days. I've been on holiday. I went to Rhodes in Greece, myself, Jackie and my daughter Emma. We went for 2 weeks to Rhodes. My sister lives there. We had many days of visits with her and it was absolutely fabulous. Weather was wonderful. I do hear that John Mills from Double Boost, he was there at the same time. I didn't know until I'd got back. Had I known, I'd have kept an eye out for him, but it is a fairly big island and the chances of bumping into each other would have been very slim. I've never actually met John, but I'd absolutely love to. So, while we were there, we had some absolutely fabulous news. My daughter's been in university for the last 4 years. A third year was a placement year with a company. And we actually got the news via the internet. She got notified that she'd actually achieved a first in her degree, which was, well, we'd hoped for it, but it actually came true and she got a first. So very proud of that young lady. Well done, Ems. If you see this, we're still so very proud of you. Anyway, enough about that. In this episode, we're going to do a few little improvements to the variable feed motor that I've done. It's quite noisy. We'll go through and show you what I did to that. Some improvements. 50-50 sort of result on that one. I come across a few bits and pieces that belong to my father, which I've given a clean up. Well, I won't call them tools, but they're in the workshop here and they are used regularly. So we're going to give them a bit of love as well. I've got a pair of vernier calipers which have been lurking in a drawer. Again, I've been sorting out drawers, found those and we've given them a bit of attention as well, with a view to them in the future being useful on the milling machine. That I haven't got yet, and I still haven't decided what machine I'm going to buy. I've got my eyes open for a second-hand machine. If something turns up, then, you know, we'll see what turns up. If not, I've got a few choices that I'm going to go along as far as a new milling machine. Again, I don't want to buy something that's absolutely superb and costs a lot of money. I'd rather, for the view of content, buy something that needs quite a bit of improvement and make it my own, as it were, much the same as I've done with the Walco lathe. And of course, as many people say, when you own one of these Walco lathes, improving the lathe is actually part of the hobby. And I think that's very true, but it is enjoyable. So rather than buy an all singing, all dancing machine that needs nothing really improving on it, I'd rather buy something that's gives me options for what I can do to improve it. I don't mind spending money on it, as long as it was fairly cheap in the first place. So that's the plan as far as a new milling machine, but we're nowhere near that yet. I haven't started the shed extension. Again, as I say, I've been away on holiday. It'll be started in the next week or so, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Got a bit of viewer mail. We shall show you that. And we're going to reveal the next new project. Excuse me looking down here, I've just written a list down of what's going to be in this episode because the old mind isn't as strong as it used to be. So we'll show you everything that I've just talked about in this video. It's not going to be a great big long one, but it's something to be going on with until I get some material in for the new project. Cheers, guys. So my little feed motor and the issue of noise. Yeah, it makes a bit of a racket. It's been suggested to me by one of my viewers to put a piece of rubber under the mounting bracket here, and that will silence it a bit. I suppose it might. It just takes the noise away from the bench and independently mounts it, so I'm going to try that and shut that racket up. And secondly to that, inside the gearbox here, I haven't taken it apart. I think I'm going to strip it down, whip this little gearbox apart and see if there is any lubrication in there, if so what it is, and perhaps some grease. I don't know. We'll have a look and cross that bridge when we come to it. So just pop the cover, oh, the right way around, eh? So just remove the 6 screws, pop the little cover off, and yeah, the gears are dry as a bone. One good thing is that they are all steel gears, which is, well, no sort of plastic gears in there, which is a good place to start. So I'll strip this apart. I would imagine these little gears, yeah, they just pop off the spindles. There is signs of lubrication in there. Oh, make sure I don't lose that little washer. There are signs of lubrication, but I think a bit of spray grease on all these gears might help. Yeah, I mean, they've sort of put a bit on this gear, missed it mostly, and hoped it would transfer, but it seems to have transferred onto that one. Let's have a look. It's transferred onto that gear there, the smaller gear. But yeah, the rest of it is bone dry. So, bit of spray lube, put it back together, reassemble it all, make a rubber spacer, and we'll try it again. Well, there we are. That's with the lead screw engaged. I'll disengage the lead screw, or disengage the carriage from the lead screw. Certainly sounds a lot smoother. I don't think we've reinvented the wheel here, but let's say 30% improvement. And any improvements are positive. So, yeah, rubber underneath the bottom, all connected up, drive belt tensioned as it should be. I still haven't got around to making the guard properly. Yeah, I'd say we've significantly reduced the noise. It certainly sounds better, even though I don't know if the volume's any less, but with the grease in the gearbox I think was the main thing. And it has reduced the noise, so yeah, not a complete waste of time. But if you do have one of these, or buy one of these type, I forget what type of motor and gearbox it was. It's 60 RPM, I know that, at 24 volts. Yeah, just whip it apart. It doesn't all fall to bits, you know, readily, so you can't put it back together, but whip it apart and put some grease in it, I would suggest. As I was searching through the old boxes looking for the grease for that gearbox, I came across this oil can. Now, this is one of the very few things that belong to my father. As you can see, it's a sheet steel, I don't know, pewter, metal, sheet metal, half-litre oil jug. It's all rolled seams. There doesn't seem to be any welding or soldering. It's all rolled seams here. Folded seam on the lid here on the spout. A little bit of evidence of spot welding with a folded handle. In these days of plastics and all that sort of thing, you know, that would be unaffordable nowadays for an oil manufacturer to supply a jug like that. They'd give you a plastic pouring jug, I suppose. I mean, my father's passed away, it's coming up 30 years ago now. So this is, and I remember him using it for many years before that. So I'd say it's 40 years old, if not older. Mobil was the brand of oil. I don't know whether it came free when you bought a gallon of oil or what have you. It used to be sold in gallons. It's all 4 or 5 litre now, 4.5 litre drums or what have you. 500 ml embossed onto it. Yeah, just thought it's a nice thing. Need to give it a clean up and put it back into commission, really. While we're on the subject of my family's heirlooms, another tool of my father's. I think one of only 3 tools I've got. This meter, yard, what have you, builder's level, Raybone Chesterman make. I think I need to give this a bit of love as well. It's looking a bit sad and tired. Give it a good clean up, make sure there's no lumps and bumps, and give it a bit of beeswax, I think, just to preserve it for a few more years. I think I can reveal the next project now. Many of you have seen the modification that I've done that allows me to swivel my compound very quickly rather than having to wind it all the way back and undo the 2 screws, set it to an angle, tighten it up, wind it all the way back in again, so on and so forth to get an angle. All I've got to do is loosen the 2 grub screws on either side. I think it's under compound slide improvements, something like that. If you haven't seen it, go back and have a look at that video. It's a useful modification on this little Walco. So anyway, my improvement is going to be to remove the compound altogether, so that I've got a fixed quick change tool post is fixed directly to the cross slide and doing away with the compound slide. I want it to be fairly quick to change it over should I need a compound slide, and maybe in future videos I'll put a hole in the back of the cross slide here to take the swivel plate so that the compound could be fitted at the back, perhaps with another tool post. I can't do that at this stage. I think I'd need a milling machine to do that. Well, I could do it on here, but yeah, I think I'll wait until such time as I've got a milling machine to do that, so that I can do, you know, production jobs. I could have the compound on the back, fixed tool post on the front, you know, a machine, and turn different operations should it need a taper on it, what have you. So yeah, the next project is going to be to make a block to replace the compound slide. I had a quick measure. 80mm square would be the size of the block, I think, because the cross slide is 80mm, and overall height it's approximately 35mm. I've ordered a piece of steel, or a piece of cast iron I should say, 80mm square by 40mm thick, so that should be a starting point, or at least a piece of metal that'll go between the quick change tool post and the cross slide. So that will be the next project. So yeah, I've been cleaning up a pair of vernier calipers. They're actually quite good. They were rusty as dreadful and all seized up, but I've cleaned them all up. The jaws and the outsides, they're all good. You can still read the numbers, thankfully. I didn't know if they were going to come back. I got the locking screw. There was all sorts of damage and stuff, you know, seized up and what have you, but I soaked them in some WD-40 for a few days, and I polished them all up by wool and what have you, and they come up quite good. The little adjusting nut I haven't got, which sits in that pocket for the fine adjustment. I've had a measure up of it, and it looks like it's 3BA. I haven't got a 3BA tap, so I need to get one of those on order and perhaps make up a little thumb wheel to go in there for the fine adjustment. Anyway, so that's that. It's a Raybone. No, it's not. It's a Chesterman, England, number 770. Well, as you can see, 360mm, or about 14.5 inch overall. So yeah, that's going to be handy for the larger sizes. Not many people use the old verniers now, but I was brought up and trained in the days when you didn't have digitals. Vernier was the way to go, and it's a similar system to you know, mics that measure in tenths basically, but it won't make this a lesson in using vernier calipers. Maybe that's one for the future. So I've done a sticker swap with a fellow YouTube creator, Uchol, who is Woods Creek Workshop. He's based in Monroe, Washington. He's a great guy. Tells some really fun stories. Fun guy to watch. If you don't follow Uchol at Woods Creek Workshop, I suggest you have a good look. Yeah, he's great. Absolutely fabulous. And I've sent some of my stickers, and I've got some of his. So yeah, that's Woods Creek Workshop, and two really nice stickers. Well, in fact, two sets. I have, up until now, been sticking YouTuber stickers on one of the toolbox here. Most of them, including myself, you'll send out two stickers of your stickers. I'm going to wait until I've got the new extension on the workshop before I stick these up, I believe. And I'm hoping to get like a dedicated board for YouTube creator stickers. So that's that. That's Uchol, and he's Woods Creek Workshop. Cheers, Uchol. Well, that's about it for this episode, guys. Don't forget to check out Uchol at Woods Creek Workshop. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing, and we'll see you all very soon. Cheers now.